From KDFW TV, Dallas-Fort Worth, Channel 4 News. The 10 o'clock reports with Steve Bosh, Clarice Tinsley, Tom Riley at the Channel 4 weather station, and Paul Crane on sports.
Good evening. From D.C. to Dallas, apartheid is making news tonight.
In Washington, the president has vetoed U.S. sanctions against South Africa, but he probably does not have enough votes to prevent a veto override.
Richard Ray has been following this changing story throughout this night. Richard?
It would seem now that the president is increasingly isolated on the issue of sanctions. Pro-sanction forces won victories on several fronts today, although a Dallas anti-apartheid protest, again, mostly fizzled. In California, President Reagan's home state, the governor today signed a bill to sell $11 billion in state investments in companies with ties to South Africa. Republican Governor George Deukmejian called it a signal that Americans will not fall silent to racism and oppression.
California is the world's 7th largest economy. And I think that our strong actions in enacting this legislation will make a difference.
Meantime, in Dallas, a planned and much ballyhooed stall-in protest at Fair Park never really came off. All week, organizers had been promising hordes of stalled cars and snarled traffic on the opening day of the state fair. Police had tow trucks at the ready, but they were never really needed. A handful of picketers marched without incident.
I have given too much support. I have given too much support.
Now, Miss Ragsdale, you're out of order.
The debate over apartheid and sanctions has stirred passions and sparked angry confrontations at City Hall for months, but little in the way of divestment. And it's never seemed to translate into community activism. Councilman Al Lipscomb shrugged off today's small turnout and predicted a more visible protest for tomorrow.
This is more or less a training session for some of the picketers. This is the first time some of these people have picketed. Okay? Tomorrow, the parade and the opening is the entree.
Late today, Canada announced it will ban the import of South African agricultural products and metals beginning October 1st. The move is in line with a series of sanctions recently adopted by British Commonwealth nations and Japan. Stephen Clarice?
Rich, what's the reaction of the government in South Africa?
Well, among other things, the government's Bureau for Information today closed its media center, what had been the only official source of information on the continuing political violence there.
Okay, thank you.
For some, it was a symbol of school spirit. For others, it was a symbol of racial oppression. Because of that, a 10-year tradition at South Grand Prairie High School may have ended forever this night. As Channel 4's Steve Stoller shows us, the stars and bars are now noticeably absent when the football team takes the field.
When the Warriors crashed through the paper banner tonight, there were no signs of the controversy that's been plaguing this school for the last year. Earlier this week, the Grand Prairie School Board voted to obey an order by the Texas Education Agency to ban the flag's use as a school spirit symbol. Most students we talk with tonight say they're disappointed they can't use the flag anymore, but they're glad the controversy is over.
Well, I think it's pretty sad because now we're going to have to pick a new flag. I think that it got way out of hand because we didn't mean anything against, you know, black people or anything by the Confederate flag. It's just a symbol we've had for our school for a long time.
James Faust told us he's glad the controversy has ended because it harmed relations between black and white students.
People just started blaming blacks for messing, disrupting the school. You know, I don't really think that it was anybody's fault. The flag, you know, never meant racism to me or to a lot of other people, but to some people it did.
South Grand Prairie students and fans seem to be obeying the order not to display the flag. We found only one student who carried a miniature flag, but was quickly asked by other students to hide it when they saw our camera. South Grand Prairie football coach Eddie Patton refused to grant us an on-camera interview. But he told us last year the flag controversy distracted his players and even split some friendships for life. This year he says his players are concentrating only on one thing, playing football. Steve Stoller, Channel 4 News.
Japanese Prime Minister Nakasone says he is sorry for a remark that sparked an uproar among all Americans, especially blacks and Hispanics. Today in Washington, the Japanese ambassador read a statement of apology from Nakasone. The Prime Minister was quoted Monday saying Japan had a higher intelligence level than the United States because all Japanese are of the same race. In Texas, NAACP and LULAC officials say that apology is not enough. They are threatening to take action if Nakasone does not make a complete retraction of the statements.
The action would be a national boycott of Japanese products, of course, and how that would be phased in is going to be part of the plan of action, whether you go after automobiles first or televisions first or et cetera, but it would be on a national basis. And
the Hispanic population in our country is expected to double by the end of this century. Census officials say by the year 2020, 36 million Americans will be of Hispanic origin. That's up from 17 million right now. And on a related matter, in Washington, an immigration reform measure opposed by many Hispanic leaders is now all but dead in Congress.
Still to come, black tie and beef at the Anatole.
And we'll take you live to South Fork, where they are holding Welcome Back Bobby tonight.
There's no sale like a Barry's sale. And this week, Barry's has special savings on cameras that come only from the mind of Minolta. Even a beginner can get professional results with a Minolta Maxim 35mm SLR camera with autofocusing built right in. Just press the shutter button and watch your subject snap into perfect focus. Maxim, starting at $299.95. Save on all Minolta cameras, lenses, camcorders, and accessories this week at all 4 Barry's camera and video locations.
Lincoln Mercury Mercure devours the high cost of new car financing with 2.9 annual percentage rate financing. 2.9 on Mercury Cougar, 2.9 on Topaz, 2.9 on Lynx, Capri, and Mercure XR4 Ti. Or get $300 to $1,000 cash back on select Mercury models, plus low lease terms on Lincolns and Mercure XR4 Ti. Take advantage of low 2.9 financing now. See Bailey, Bankston, Eagle, Grubbs, McDavid, North Hills, North Star, Regency.
Here comes the Purolator Courier. There goes Purolator Courier. The Roadrunner works for Purolator Courier. We run rings around the Coyote Courier. Sending something to Houston, Austin, or Tulsa? Never fear. Use Purolator Near. Got a rush to New York, Atlanta, or L.A.? Be a star. Use Purolator Far. For overnight delivery, call the Roadrunner at Purolator Courier. Dial 1-800-BEEP-BEEP. Your package is just a beep-beep away.
Bobby Ewing took on Crockett and Tubbs tonight, but we'll have to wait for the ratings tally before finding out who won the battle for viewers between Miami Vice and Dallas.
But out at South Fork Ranch this evening, no contest. That's where Sue Keenan is right now. Sue, what's going on?
Well, we're in the middle of a big party out here. As you may know, South Fork Ranch is not only the area's major tourist attraction, it's also a very popular convention facility. And here are orthodontists and antique dealers from around the country. There are also a lot of TV screens. And the mysterious plot of Bobby Ewing's return just made everything a whole lot more exciting around here.
It's easy to get in the mood for the Dallas season premiere after an elaborate party on the lawn of South Fork with a JR lookalike.
Now, Bobby's going to come back tonight.
How would Bobby come back was the big question tonight.
Honey, what's the matter? You look like you just saw a ghost.
For a minute, I thought I did.
What are you talking about?
You? Oh, Bobby, it was awful. When I woke up, I thought that you were dead.
What?
I had a nightmare, a terrible nightmare.
It's over. None of that happened. We're together, and I love you.
With scenes like this competing with the season premiere of Miami Vice, most TV viewers would be faced with a tough choice. But not so at South Fork. Dallas was the only choice, and reviews on the plot were all pretty good.
It was all a bad dream, as far as I can tell from what I've seen.
Do you find any of that maybe a little hard to believe?
I think it's a great way to bring him back. Something that certainly hasn't been talked about, and I haven't thought about it. It's so simple that it's hard to believe.
I want Bobby to come back as an imposter because I love Bobby. I think he is so neat. I like him better than JR.
I was kind of saddened to see Patrick Duffy leave the show, and I'm kind of glad to see him come back.
Well, you know, the season premiere is over, but for those who faithfully watch the show, there's probably...
How you doing?
Oh, this couldn't be JR.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's the
Doesn't look like
look-alike.
one.
It's the look-alike.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what do you think is in store for the season ahead?
There's a lot of things. You know, people are taking showers. You don't know what's going on out here anymore. Bugs are flying. Horses are doing things. We're going to have a good time.
And your real-life counterpart is up to no good.
He's up to no good.
All right, well, that's the story here from the South Fork Ranch. Steve, please.
It's funny.
Thanks, Sue. Partners South Fork Ranch and Bobby Ewing are not the only attention getters in Dallas tonight. Hundreds of Texas cattlemen and their guests attended the first cattle auction at the Anatole Hotel. Steak may have been on the menu, but alive and kicking, Texas Longhorns are the main attraction at the Black Tie and Beef Affair. The dance floor in the hotel's Wedgwood Ballroom has been turned into an auction block for bidding on the pick of the herd's livestock. Tom Riley had a real tough day today, folks, working in that great Texas sunshine.
You bet. Yeah, it was, well, somebody's got to do it, you know. We have some great weather coming up on the menu, and nobody's going to beef about this. We'll tell you all about it in just a second.
Dallas and Fort Worth finally have a radio station that specializes in songs you can sing along with. Cozy's changed. It's the all-new Cozy 105.3 FM. Soft, light songs by all the greats like Streisand, Mathis, Billy Joel, and more, with hardly any talk. So if rock's too hard and elevator music's just too soft, come to the all-new Cozy 105.3 FM, KQZY. There's never been anything like it before in Dallas or Fort Worth.
Have you always dreamed about owning a Nissan 300ZX? Well, right now your Nissan dealer says, with year-end savings on all sports cars. To make room for our new models, we're saying, with sensational deals on Pulsars, 200SXs, and 300ZXs. There will never be a better time to buy a Nissan sports car. All you have to do is ask, and your Nissan dealer says, but don't wait. Get big savings at your Dallas-Fort Worth Nissan dealer today.
For nearly 50 years, Mama Cuellar and her son served outstanding Mexican food at El Chico restaurants until El Chico was bought by a giant corporation, which couldn't make Mexican food quite like Mama could. So the Cuellars bought the restaurants back and are once again serving the recipes that first made El Chico famous. Come to the first family of Mexican food. Come to the Cuellars El Chico.
Next on All in the Family.
Old 5 cents, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5 is the... I'll tell you what's better than this, see? Make 25 more. Make 100 altogether, and we charge $2 a piece, so 100 times 2, that's, we got $200. You always look good with numbers.
Share the spirit of laughter with All in the Family Friday at 10:30.
We had great weather for the fair opener today, and of course, this is above normal weather for this time of the year. Temperatures have been running on the high side, about 7 to 10 degrees for overnight lows and daytime highs. Let's take a look at some of those temperatures right now. 84 degrees the current, humidity at 61%, the barometric pressure is at 29.94 and rising. The wind's coming in from the south at 13 miles per hour. The records for this date, 100 degrees in 1977. That was the high, and today's high was 93. The overnight low, 77 degrees, and the record low was 45 degrees, set back in 1942. Here's a look at the satellite photo. You can see a lot of action up here in the plains of Oklahoma. That, of course, is the thunderstorm system. Fortunately, the system has been steadily moving away from us, and the only other thunderstorms in the eastern part of Texas over here near the border with Louisiana, those have been dying down in the past couple of hours. Looking at the picture a little bit more closely, you can see that they're still active, and there's another one over here to the west, too, but all of them are staying put in their own designated spot, none of them moving around to threaten the Metroplex tonight. We wanted to check the precipitation so far, whether or not we've had a wave of too much or maybe too little. So far, for this month, this is the way it's turned out. 3.31 is normal. The actual rainfall has been slightly above normal, just about 0.7 of an inch. So if you're getting a free green lawn at this point, it's all courtesy of this slightly extra heavy rainfall. It's not been too much at once either. Introducing tonight, Swami Tani is going to tell you how to dress for the fair tomorrow. If you're in doubt about it, this is a few of the things that you might be taking along. For instance, some sunglasses, a fan to keep yourself a little cool because it's going to be warm. Also, some cool shoes to get around on the fairground. Everybody talking about how, well, if you're going to hoof around and see this many things in one day, you have to stay comfortable. Suntan lotion to fend off some of that because it's going to be bright. And also, this might look like a frog fin, but it's not. We're not recommending that you go scuba diving at the state fair. Instead, this happens to be a visor just to keep the sun out of your eyes and stay cool, all right? Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 73 degrees. The temperature, south winds coming in at about 20 miles per hour. This is not the end of it. We're going to have some more nice weather for tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies, slight chance of afternoon thunder showers. Those will be late, about 4:30 to about 7 o'clock in the evening. 94 degrees for the daytime high, and we're going to have south winds at about 25 miles per hour. Can you stand all of this good weather? There's going to be more because temperatures should stay around 90 degrees every day of this forecast period. The overnight lows in the 70s, and there'll be just enough clouds in the sky to make it picturesque so that you can take some great pictures to send back to the folks at home and say, eat your heart out, we're still having this sensational weather. And it's going to be a little on the warm side. But the humidity, I'll advise you about that. That's going to be on the high side. So try to stay cool and expect those breezes to help it happen.
You know, with that forecast, you're going to be one of the most popular people around here.
And what an outfit it's going to be if you wear all of that stuff that I told you to take, right?
I think so.
Dallas County attracts more visitors than any county in Texas, and this is one of the reasons, the chief reasons, the State Fair of Texas. The State Fair officially opened to the public today and will run for the next 4 weeks. The gates open at 7 every morning, but the exhibit buildings don't open until 10 o'clock. Admission tomorrow is $5 for adults, $2 for children, 5 to 12, and you can park on the fairgrounds for $3. One of the highlights of this year's fair is the Texas Pavilion, featuring historic documents, photographs, maps, and other artifacts that trace the heritage of Texas. Speaking of Texas, Rangers do or die? Oh, they just got started, didn't they?
They're pretty early out west, but the Rangers are doing and not dying yet. Good. A good start early, but they're 0-6 against the Angels this year. They must win or their dreams of its division title are over. We'll talk about that and one of the best football teams in town next.
For generations, First City Banks have been building a proud tradition. We're there to help you realize your dream. No one brings more banking convenience into your neighborhood. We're helping to spread higher education across the state. We even help you reach for the stars. So keep moving ahead, Texas, and count on First City to help you keep growing through all the years to come.
With factory financing at 0, 2.4, and 2.9, a dealer has to do more to earn your business. And from now till Monday night, Arlington Nissan is doing more. Now, we're offering Nissan 4x4s and Pulsars for just $199 a month with no money down. Yes, with no money down, buy 4x and Pulsars for just $199 a month. Now, wouldn't you agree? That is doing more. But it's only till Monday night at Arlington Nissan off Interstate 20 at New York and Collins exit. Nissans really do cost less in Arlington.
Nothing could be finer than the taste of Aunt Jemima in the morning. Wake up, Susie. Aunt Jemima's taking care of breakfast. So go get your toaster. Nah, she's not making toast. She's making waffles. Hot, crispy, and tender. She took a lot of time blending and baking to make waffles so good you wouldn't believe they came out of the toaster. Nothing could be finer than the taste of Aunt Jemima in the morning.
America, there's no doubt about it. You sure have a thing about keeping your cars clean on the outside. Well, now there's something special that'll keep your car running clean where it really counts, on the inside. Introducing Pheno 1 detergent gasoline. It'll keep your fuel injectors and carburetors running clean. So come on, America, keep it running clean.
At Pheno, you got a friend.
The Rangers in Anaheim tonight, knowing that one loss ends their season-long dream of the division title. And while Texas does not have to win to make this year the best in quite some time, the team goes in thinking anything can happen. And they try to get it going in the first inning, 2 on and 2 out when Ruben Sierra gets picked off by John Candelaria. That ends one threat, but another not far away. Third inning when Steve Buechele hits one up the right center gap. Watch center fielder Gary Pettis. Nice try, but he can't get it. Kicks it over to the right field line. Buechele will not stop until he gets to third. It is a triple for Buechele. Toby Harrah will follow with a double to knock home Buechele. Scott Fletcher later knocks home Hara. Right now, Texas leads 2-0 in the bottom of the third inning, and there is champagne on ice in the Angel locker room. In Boston, the Red Sox trying to get Roger Clemens win number 25, and this the closest thing we've had to a run all night. Dwight Evans grounds a gun down at the plate, and on we go. Goose egg after goose egg. Clemens doing his part, though, and they're still playing. In the 10th inning at Fenway, Toronto nothing, and Boston nothing. On the American League board, Detroit beats New York in Yankee Stadium 3-2. Minnesota-Chicago postponed. Milwaukee over Baltimore 2-0. Oakland and the Royals postponed. In the National League, Atlanta beats Houston 5-4. New York over Pittsburgh. Philadelphia shuts out Montreal. Chicago enduring a rain delay, leading St. Louis in the fourth. Two other games there, still early. Quarterback Doug Flutie has reached an agreement with New Jersey Generals owner Donald Trump, which should make him feel almost 6 feet tall. Flutie is now free to chase a career in the NFL, getting $1 million, which tacked on to the $2 he's already pocketed means Flutie gets $3 million for one USFL season. The LA Rams own his rights, but just signed 6'5" Jim Everett and have told the 5'9" Flutie he's free to talk with other teams. Big high school game in Dallas tonight. Dallas Roosevelt in the all-red going against Kimball, and Earl Smith hits Vincent Carruthers, which helps set up the game's first score, which comes on the first play of the second quarter. James Washington diving in, 6-0 Roosevelt at that point. Kimball ties before Roosevelt misses a field goal in the game's final play, but a penalty gives them another chance, and they kick it to win. The final Roosevelt 9 and Kimball 6. The team, which could well be the best in the area, if not the state, plays a big game tomorrow night against South Oak Cliff. And Mark Lewis tells us about the Carter Cowboys.
After missing most of the 1985 season with a leg injury, number 25, Darren Lewis, an All-American running back for Carter, is back better than ever, leading the Cowboys' offense and providing much more than just All-American statistics.
Just there being out there present, number 25 present, it helped a lot. It's the morale of the team. It helped the morale of the team a whole lot. And plus, it's affect the opponents that we're playing against.
It had to be nerve-wracking to stand on the sidelines, right?
Yes, it was pretty hard. But, you know, it's like that once you get hurt in playing football, you have to sit there and suffer the consequences, but hopefully come back the following year strong.
Not only does Coach Freddie James have a very potent offensive attack this year, but his defense has yet to be scored on in 1986.
In 85, we had we went 10-0 with 10 shutouts, so we thought that we could do that this year.
If we can just come out and get ahead and score first, the defense would take care of everything else. Jerome and Curtis Banks and the rest of those guys, I'm glad I don't have to play against them.
Several times the Cowboys have been picked to get to state, but they've yet to win a championship. This may be the year.
I think we can. With Darren Lewis in the backfield, me kicking, and that line, we got it all. One thing I hope is that we can make it to 16-ball game, and hope that score still can be Carter, 45, where we play 0.
So far, so good, but it's a long way until the championship game in December. Mark Lewis, Channel 4 Sports, Dallas.
In college football, number 1 Oklahoma against number 2 Miami at the Orange Bowl. 2:30 here on Channel 4. SMU and TCU in the Cotton Bowl, and we will have live reports from both places tomorrow at 6:30 on Sports Scene.
All right.
A hoax backfires. Airlines workers accused of being drug smugglers. And the new Chief Justice. These are a few of the stories topping tonight's news headlines. William Rehnquist was sworn in today as the 16th Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He succeeds outgoing Chief Justice Warren Burger. 22 employees of Eastern Airlines and 1 employee of Mexicana Airlines were named in federal indictments today, accused of using their jobs as cargo and baggage handlers to help smuggle cocaine into the United States. The cocaine was flown into Miami International Airport, where the 23 workers allegedly allowed the drug to slip by officials during a 3-year period. Murder suspect Michael Wayne Jackson is still at large after eluding Missouri law officials for 4 days. Jackson is a suspect in 3 slayings, 2 armed robberies, and the abduction of 5 people. Jackson is not in custody, but another man is. Police have filed felony and misdemeanor charges against a man accused of a hoax. The man said that Jackson had stolen his pickup truck. Before police learned the call was a hoax, off-duty officers had been called out of bed, and roadblocks were left abandoned to take part in the bogus search.
Still to come tonight, Dallas, as you've never seen it before.
And from the pages of Neiman Marcus's Christmas catalog, gifts for the person who has everything. And we do mean everything.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now, get 2.9% financing or cash back on the purchase of most new Ford cars and trucks.
Up to $600 cash back on Ford Ranger. $1,000 cash back on Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. And up to $600 on Tempos. 2.9% and cash back on other Ford cars and trucks, too. That's 2.9% financing or cash back.
Hurry! See your Tarrant County Ford dealer today.
Get a feel for cotton. The way it feels just right. The way it's soft to your touch. The way it practically takes care of itself. Once you get a feel for cotton, you won't feel like anything else. Look for Cotton's True Performance label on 100% cotton, no iron cottontail percales, and flannels from Utica. At Singer Harris.
Zales Anniversary Sale. Our offer, store-wide savings of 20 to 50% off original prices.
It's our best anniversary sale ever.
Zales Anniversary Sale. Your deadline. Sale ends this Sunday.
It's here, Levitt's Fabulous Fall Sale. Check your newspaper for hundreds of bargains throughout Levitt's huge showroom. You'll love it at Levitt's Fabulous Fall Sale.
There's only one Dairy Queen Country Basket. But now the Country Basket comes with our famous country gravy or your choice of 4 great-tasting new sauces made just for dipping. And you can take your pick for the special sale price of just $1.89. So do your picking and start grinning, while the Country Basket is yours for a song.
September may be a bit early to start working on your Christmas shopping list, but tonight in Jack Brown's Texas, we learn why now is a good time to start saving your money for some very unique gifts in the Neiman Marcus Christmas book.
It's not yet the season to be jolly, but shoppers already are taking a look at that annual bit of holiday folly, the Neiman Marcus Christmas book. Pages of goodies from around the world, designed to suit every whim. A fur, perhaps, for your best girl. A gold-plated bike for him. If you literally want to go for broke and can spare the 80 grand, you can order Neiman's Bubble Boat and say goodbye to land. It has 600 lights of red, white, and blue to give your spirits a lift. And while it's worth a mention or two, it is not the his and her gift. That annual choice, which is usually wild, gets most of the book's publicity. But in '86, the selection is mild. Neiman's has chosen a kitty. The choice and the price, believe it or not, have already created a spat. Experts scoff at this pet with spots, called the California Spangled Cat. They say this cat is not even a breed, and the price is quite unfair. $1,400 each, $2,800 a pair. Neiman says it's a brand new cat, and the store never claimed to be cheap. The pet may leave your wallet flat, but your kitty could be unique. Jack Brown, Channel 4 News.
Jack had a pretty good rhyme there, didn't he?
Kept it going all the way. Well, that's what we're going to be doing with the weather, too. We're going to keep it going right on through the breakfast forecast tomorrow. You're going to have some nice weather. If mowing the lawn is on your weekend chore list, incidentally, for the best comfort level, do it before noon tomorrow, because afternoon temperatures are really going to jump up in the 90s.
Good tip.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Oh, thank you.
That's our report for tonight. We appreciate your company.
We'll close with a look at Dallas through the lens of Channel 4 photographer Max Stacy, a video he calls Reflections.
57.